Half a day, the Committee on General Government Operation and Appropriation now called to order. Today is Monday, February 5th. The time now is 2 o'clock. In compliance with the open government law, the notice for this public hearing were posted on the GovGuam public notice portal, KGTF, PBS Channel 12, and disseminated via email to all senators and all main media broadcasting outlets on Thursday, January 25th, and again on Thursday, February 1st. There's only one bill we'll be hearing today, and that's Bill 114-37 LS, introduced by Speaker Therese M. Terlai, co-sponsored by myself, Senator Joe S. Agustin, and Senator Dwayne Nicholas. An act to appropriate $40,000 to the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs relative to funding the November 2024 Island-wide Veterans Convention. Fiscal note was requested on May 12, 2023. And then fiscal note was received and disseminated on June 2nd, 2023. Those participating on behalf of the bill 114-37 are invited to the panel. Reminder, let me advise you of the general rules for this public hearing. Please provide my legislative staff with any document for photocopying and distribution. Panel members are asked to remain in the room for questions or additional testimony as may be desired by members of the committee. Question and testimony shall be confined to the substance or nature of the agenda. Please, personal inference as to the character or motive of any senator or any individual testifying is not permitted. Any violation of the general rule of conduct will result in removal from the public hearing room. Proper form and decorum shall be practiced by all present in the public hearing room for these proceedings. Individuals who fail to maintain proper form and decorum will be restricted and will be escorted from the room. When you speak, please make sure that the microphone is on and that you speak into the microphone. Please state your name and your title for the record. I'd like to acknowledge my colleague, the sponsor of the bill, Speaker Therese Terlai, is present here. And all we need is just her and I. I'm the appropriation, she's the speaker. We're good to go. Just teasing about that. I'd ask now the speaker to please give her opening statement on her bill. Ma'am?
Mr. Chair, and thank you also for co-sponsoring this bill, and thank you to all those who are here today. This bill is it's introduced at the request of Sir Nick Francisco and the Veterans Affairs Office of Guam, the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs, and as you know, Mr. Francisco is the president of the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 668, and he's also the commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart on Guam. The Military Order of the Purple Heart, they have annual conventions. However, the design here is for an annual convention for all of the veterans of Guam, all of them together. And the bill seeks to appropriate $40,000 to fund a convention, an island-wide veterans convention for local veterans to share concerns and issues that are impacting them. This was originally scheduled for another date, but the date that they've now settled on is April 2024, Mr. Chair, so hopefully we're acting right on time for this to get them the money that they need to complete this. They hope to support veterans on Guam with resources, ensure that all veterans are able to access the resources that are available, networking capabilities, further strengthen and bridge the gaps of information and resources, and of course assistance for claims and all other purposes that our veterans need assistance from local officials and our community. The bill proposes that funding be appropriated to the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs, and because this is an unprecedented island-wide convention, expenses will likely exceed $40,000. However, BBMR estimates a venue costs of about $31,800 and about $8,200 in supplies. And so I'm asking that the bill be amended. Instead of a convention occurring in November 2023, that it be amended to read April 2024 convention, and that we act swiftly on this, Mr. Chair. So I want to acknowledge all the veterans who are here today, and all of the veterans of Guam whose sacrifices we know are very important to us. We could not be here without you, and we want to make sure that this convention can help you to attain the services that you need and to reach out to all of those who are not regularly involved in the different organizations on Guam, that we take every opportunity to do that. And so, Mr. Chair, for having this hearing.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And yes, Madam Speaker, I'll make the amendments on even from the title and into the contents of the bill to reflect its 2024's convention, not 2023. Because this is one that we were trying to do last year, but the clock just ticked too fast for us. But our goal now is to make this a successful event upcoming, okay? I'd like to also recognize the veterans that are seated at the panel. We have Jose San Agustin from the VA office, the director. We have Nick Francisco from VVA and the Military Purple Heart. And we have Joseph Mumfus, the VA liaison officer. Sir, and we'll begin with whoever turns on the mic. Just state your name and your position and then continue to march.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Speaker, good afternoon, and thank you, Senator Joe San Agustin, for chairing this bill as well. Madam Speaker, the bill sums it up. There's no sugarcoating. It's clearly defined as to what the intent of the bill there is. In addition to your introduction, Madam Speaker, clearly that you and your chairman, Mr. Joe San Agustin, have a very clear indication as to how important this bill is to the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs and our veterans that have served our nation. In saying that, good afternoon, Madam Speaker and Honorable Senator Joe San Agustin of the 37th Guam Legislature. My name is Joe San Agustin, Director of the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs. I appear before you this afternoon in support of Bill 114-37. I humbly ask all senators for their consideration in support to this bill for the funding of an island-wide Veterans Convention. Many of our veterans return home after the completion of service to find challenges to services they seek, and to some cases, not available. In many cases, the veteran is not aware of the process in order to start receiving services. Guam's geographical location, like many others, places a challenge with its limited resources. The Island-wide Convention will be a beacon for our veterans to receive and share information impacting them and their families. The Veterans Convention will be an annual 2-day event in order to continue to network and update our veterans community and local service providers with continuing challenges and policy changes of services. I, from the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs, support anything that will assist our veterans. Our veterans organization commanders and leaders feel the same, and that's why they are commanders of specific veterans organization. I request that this funding be an appropriation into the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs, where the office will be able to oversee the funds and that the funds are spent to its intended use to bring accountability to these government funds. Again, Madam Speaker and Mr. Joe San Agustin, Senator, thank you very much, and I hope that we are able to convince the other senators that are not here today to please support this bill. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. San Agustin. I don't think we're going to have that many problems convincing the other senators. Most of them are in full support of the veterans. Mr. Francisco, you're next, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Madam Speaker, thank you for authoring this bill. You know that Friday the governor signed a proclamation declaring 2024 Year of the Veteran. That is a very significant day for the veterans of Guam, recognizing them and recognizing everybody for this year, going to be the Veteran of the Year. And here we are here to testify on a bill to support the island-wide veterans. I attended that June 27, 28 PAC Act down at the Agana Shopping Mall, and I was very, very surprised to see the number of veterans show up there that are to say they need help, they're lost, like nobody's following them, nobody's helping them, and a lot of other issues. I think that this convention is one of those that we can share, see each other, talk to each other, offer help to each other, and and I'm so thankful for the appropriation. But Madam Speaker and Senator San Agustin, I remember that back when we had that signing of the proclamation up at the coal bank declaring March for Vietnam War Day, I asked Madam Speaker to be the sponsor of bill to appropriate 40,000. But the next day, we had our flag raising, and they said, "Nick, you asked for 40. We're giving you 50, and I think that came out from Mr. San Agustin's mouth. Thank you there, Mr. San Agustin, for giving us 10,000 more. And I'd like to ask to amend this bill so we can read that to appropriate 50,000 to host the 2024 Island-wide Veteran Convention, and I don't know what else. I think, as I hear from you, is the chair of this committee, that to amend this on the floor. I don't know whether this is the right time to amend this. I'm pretty sure it must be today, this floor. I'm correct, or?
Just go ahead and continue your presentation, and then I'll advise you.
Okay, so I don't know what kind of language I'm going to use to amend this, but I'm pretty sure that you can put in the language to amend this from 40 to 50,000 to host the 2024 Island-wide Veteran Convention. I've been chatting a lot with veterans in Guam. In fact, this is on my calendar to make sure that April 6 to see all these veterans at Nico Hotel, and we're planning that for at least 300 people. I'm pretty sure some of you are going to bring their spouse to that convention, but also there's another day for the veteran spouse retreat to be part of this appropriation. So the convention on Saturday the 6th, and the veteran spouse retreat is going to be on a Sunday, another day. And I think that the good director here will justify that appropriation. And I told the director that, brother, we have 50,000 budget, don't go over that. So, again, I thank you, Mr. San Agustin. I thank you, Madam Speaker, and all the other colleagues that are supporting this bill. I thank all of them, and like I said, I'm so excited this year because, like I said, the year 2024 is the year of the veteran, and 2024 is going to be the first island-wide annual Veteran Convention. Thank you there, Mr. San Agustin and Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Francisco. I think you also missed out on our conversations that one of the things I've always been concerned about I'm being very conservative, is that when something is planned, you always have to anticipate the worst case. Worst case is that you anticipate 300, you could almost expect, if there's over 20,000 veterans on Guam, you got to take the average. If you look at the average, it's like inviting somebody to an event and you invite 100, expect to get 20. If you invite 1,000, you can expect to get 300 or 400. And with over 20,000 veterans on Guam, I just hope that the NICU can handle it. And that's why I brought up that you may not have enough money, and that's why I brought up the issue of 50,000. And I have no problem on that one. I did advise the speaker that I will put it in as long as you make that statement, we'll put in the request to make the changes on the bill. We'll do the appropriate changes, and I have no problem standing up and supporting Speaker's bill and explaining the impact. Number one, if the veterans will remind themselves, when you went to the PACAF, the meetings and everything, there's many veterans that are coming out of the woodwork. They're coming out of the closets. And when they know there's a convention that is backed by the government, we have the speaker, you have the chair of appropriations saying, come on out. We want you to get educated. We want you to get service. You can expect your 300 to be a small number. I'm hoping that NICU can handle all the veterans that are going to show up. And if you have two-day event, and one of the most important factors for every veteran is their spouses. The spouses are always left out. And being you have a convention that deals with spouses is saying a lot. That the spouses are the backbone of every veteran. Yes. And that's what I believe in. Mr. Moffat, your turn, sir.
Thank you, dear, Madam Speaker and Mr. Chair. My name is Joseph Moffat. I'm also a veteran of 35 years of service. I'm here in support of Bill 114-37. This bill is particularly is the first of a kind, and the reason why I said that is because a lot of our veterans tend to be forgotten when they got out from the service, and this is another step of trying to get everybody together and see, what we can do to help a lot of veterans, like Mr. Francisco mentioned about the PAC 27 and 28 in January. When we had that down, there's a lot of veterans that were kind of confused, and we have to lead them in the right way. We always hear this, that when we meet somebody and we tell them that we are retired or veteran, they always say, thank you for your service. But actually, what does that mean, thank you for your service, right? So this is the time that we need to get together and get these veterans together and see what we can do to help them out. Our our target here is for the young veterans. They tend to mislead, or they tend to don't know where to go. So we need to make sure that we kind of cater to these young veterans to tell them where we go and to tell them where they can get help, whatever necessity that they need. Not like us old folks that we have to find our way to get our disability or to get anything else. We have to find our way. And this is one way of putting this out, is by having this convention. And also, like what Mr. Francisco mentioned, we just had a proclamation declaring 2024 as the Veterans of the Year. This is another step of trying to get all these about 28,000 veterans that are here on the island, maybe more, so they can get together and see what we can do to help them out, so we can have a good number registered in the nation. As you all know, that we have the biggest per capita in all military services. So again, I thank you for all that, and I am here again to support Bill 11437, and I hope that all the other senators will agree to that, and this is another step of trying to not forget our veterans. Thank you, Madam Speaker and Mr. Chair.
Thank you, gentlemen. Madam Speaker, do you have any questions?
Sure. Thank you again for being here and testifying in support of this bill and for the amendments to the bill. And thank you, Mr. Chair, for accommodating those amendments. I guess I just want to make sure it's clear on the record, Mr. San Agustin, as head of the Guam Office of Veterans Affairs, you've offered to receive the funds, and the accountability of these funds. So I want to thank you for that. That is very important to some of my colleagues, to all of us. So that will go a long way. And I want to ask about, so the BBMR's estimation of the cost, Do you believe that that is reasonable or likely?
Thank you for the question there, Madam Speaker. You know, when you're a government official, you try to be conservative, right? And you try to be very considerate. And there's sometimes when we do have to work outside the box and say, well, if it's not enough for our veterans, we're probably going to waste our time and not meet the goals and provide that efficient information that we need to provide them. So with the amendment, and I'm glad Mr. Nick Francisco is here this afternoon to request for that amendment, because I foresee it that we're going to have a shortfall if the amendment is not approved. Just based on the estimates that I was given by that one hotel, and then keep in mind also that we cannot just go after the one hotel. We have to do the procurement process. That's why that's important. So another hotel might be able to do it for $40,000. By all means, we go that route. But if not, if $50,000 is the cap, and that's where we're able to make the better out of our bucks, we'll go that way. But again, for the record, Madam Speaker and Senator Joe San Agustin, I would try to be as conservative as much without putting in any type of shortfall to our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'd like to help you to get the word out as well in any way that we can. So please, we could publish it on our TV channel, hopefully, and maybe in some of our newspaper ads as well. I'm sure you will do the same. But I, like the chair, would like to reach all of the veterans on Guam if we can. I think we can never stop those efforts to try to reach all of them, to make sure that we can provide everything available. It's theirs. They should access it. So I'm grateful for your office's, there have been several events, and so I'm grateful for those. And I agree, we continue to see a little bit more interest. So hopefully if we can get the word out right now, where we need to do it soon, then we can, help get more people to attend. I'm glad that, Mr. Francisco, that you set a date. So that will help us to get the word out early, or right now, not that early. April 6th and 7th is just right around the corner. So, Sizus Masi, thank you again.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And the reason why I say is the number of folks that's going to attend, veterans going to show up. When I looked at the BBMR's estimate of 8,200 for supplies and material, I estimate that's going to just double instantly, just that alone. The 31,000, you're talking about probably meals and stuff to be provided. If you bring in 500 individuals into NICO, alone that's 300, and then you fill the hallways and everything. The reason why I bring this up is because I had a personal event there, and it costs that much or close to that amount for me for a one-day event, and you got a two-day event. And I'm also going to be hoping that you guys will be able to submit to us, after we can get this passed, a plan of how you plan on doing it, because there are a lot of services that are provided. GCC provides the boot camp. There's a lot of services out there. And if the event is going to be successful, I believe that if the event, as a veteran and retiree, the event is going to be successful, it's got to show. The military is known for that. You got to showboat it all. You got to put it all on the line. Every branch service is going to be present. All your military branches are going to be present. And every school and every service that can be provided to veterans will be present. And they'll just do their thing. Because that's the way Uncle Sam's always been. A lot of color is going to show. I expect the Marines to be bright and shiny. Right, Sergeant Major Cruz? I expect that 100%. I expect the same thing from the Army side. And I'm just hoping for the best. And that's why when I brought up with Mr. Francisco about the 50,000. I'm just anticipating the cost of goods have gone up. This was supposed to be last year. It's this year, and it's the year of the veteran. So I hope for the best, and with that, I'll make the appropriate amendments to the bill, and then I'll submit this as soon as possible so we can get this on the floor. I am a very strong believer in that 90%, if not 100% of all the senators will support this. This is one event that they'll regret it if they don't. This is about the veterans. You know what I mean? Veteran in every household, you would have to admit that in every household, there's either one or two veterans, or all of them support veterans, period. And if we really look at the numbers, the revenue base that's provided by the veterans on Guam, the percentage of money, there's millions and millions of dollars that hit our market, impacts our economy. And that's something I'm surprised nobody's bringing it up, but I'm aware of it. And that's been brought up by Mr. Bill Condiff and other folks that brought this up. The veterans on Guam provide a major impact to our economy. I see Joe's ready to press the mic. You wanted to speak on that one a little bit?
I want to mention, when Madam Speaker was saying about making this information go out, I'm a member of practically 3 veterans organizations, and once you get this message out, I'm pretty sure that we're going to overcrowd the Hotel Niku. And I know that we have a talk show on Wednesday. Mr. John Atula is the one that, and I'm pretty sure that once that thing gets out on the radio and so forth, we're going to, like you said, we're going to overwhelm the Hotel Niku. So the problem is not getting this out. The problem is, can we accommodate the number of people that are going to show up on that particular 2 days? So information will be out. As a matter of fact, once we finish here, now that we know that we're going to have this, I'm pretty sure that they're already going to be talking about when is it going to happen and how are we going to get there. Thank you.
Right. Madam Speaker.
Thank you. So I just want to say again, thank you. And thank you to those who are here today. I recognize you all as really the leaders of these organizations. Many of you, for many years, have led your colleagues, the rest of our community in recognizing veterans, in servicing veterans, and in outside of Veterans Affairs, in our community's affairs. So again, Jesus Maasi from the bottom of my heart, and Biba veterans, Biba.
There being no one else to present testimony in this bill, this hearing is now concluded. I want to thank everyone for attending this hearing and providing feedback. Bill 114-37 LS public hearing is now adjourned. The time now is 2:27. Please be safe. Biba veterans.